Good morning, afternoon, evening, night. Welcome to another Shotgun Thoughts broadcast tonight. So, I just recently got LASIK surgery, and as you can see, I kind of look pretty crazy, which is not too bad. I actually looked like a demon earlier today. I had totally bloodshot eyes. But I got LASIK done at this point, maybe like 14 hours ago, 12 hours ago, which probably shouldn't even be looking at this bright ass screen. But anyway, wanted to drop an update that will not be seeing me with glasses anymore, as the LASIK, even as of 12, 14 hours after the surgery, I can see better than I ever have in my life. It's actually pretty amazing. I was wearing glasses for over 20 years of my life, and some seriously thick glasses too. I had an extremely high prescription. I was at like a 4.5 and a 6. Maybe even that was like the last I recall, which was a little while ago. So it was a pretty bad. My eyes were really bad. And now I definitely have 20/20 or 15, maybe even 15/15 vision. It is pretty crazy. I could see things from far away. I mean, as somebody who's worn glasses for the longest time, it absolutely is like a medical miracle what they're able to do. I got both of my eyes done LASIK within 15 minutes. There was actually like 4 or 5 different people in the waiting room, and almost all of them were done within an hour or two. It's absolutely insane what they're able to do with medical technology nowadays, and a good doctor. Thankfully, I went to see Dr. Cohen, who is one of the best eye doctors in the world. He is one of the best in North America, and yeah, it was super quick procedure, very clean, very quick. I mean, there are things with that procedure that people do not tell you about, which is kind of crazy, like absolutely crazy. And I don't want to scare anybody, so I'm hesitant to go into the details, which is probably why people don't tell you about this part of LASIK, but I'm going to do it. So, spoiler alert, if you don't want to ruin exactly what happens when you go through LASIK, but I'm going to tell you because nobody told me, nobody has mentioned this in any of the media I've looked up, nothing. So, when you go for laser eye surgery, they basically put you on a MRI type of table. It has like two wings to it, and they put this glass lens in your eye technically. Like they attach it to the inside of like the socket. They put that thing in your eye, it kind of like pops into the socket, and it's keeping your eye not only open, but it's allowing them to get a good view of your eye. So it's like this 3-inch tunnel lens that they pop into your eye, which can be pretty uncomfortable because there's like a physical pressure that needs to be exerted into your eye, and it's kind of like, pushing on your socket. Then they basically put another attachment and put they bring the machine down onto your eye. And now at this point, the machine has like a lens as well that you're looking up into. It has lights. Your eyes are super sensitive because they jam something in your eye, and they're putting drops. I think they give you a Xanax before you go through the surgery. It's to keep your anxiety level down, I guess, and keep you calm, which had no effect on me. There was no Xanax taking effect for the most part. So you're looking into this light tunnel. It's pretty damn hard to look at. They need you to look at a very specific point and keep your eye open and your face unstrained. So no like muscular contortion, none of that stuff. And then they they put this thing down onto your eye, the machine, and it attaches. It vacuum seals into the glass lens that they put on your eye. And it's also pushing down. So you have this physical pressure on your skull and your eye socket, and then there's like the machine vacuum seals into the lens, and now you like basically go blind. It's like everything is like kind of gray, looks like mashed potatoes, and then within 5 seconds, I guess the laser and it just does its thing. You don't even really hear anything. It's super quick. Within 5 seconds, your eye is lasered open. Then the doctor comes, they take the machine away from your eye. The doctor comes, he has like a little type of scalpel thing. He doesn't incise your eye, he doesn't cut or anything, but he uses this like scalpel and he flaps your cornea over. And you're looking. This whole time your eyes are open. You're looking right at the doctor while he's got this scalpel and he flips your cornea over, and then it seems like they put this like biological glue because he had this little brush, and then he brushes your eye, and then he like flipped the cornea back, and then that's it. One eye done. They go to your other eye. You're out there in 15 minutes. If you do everything correct, then you can follow what they're telling you to do. It's a bit difficult, but it's very quick, and honestly, it is worth it. It is completely worth the money, the time, the little bit of uncomfortableness, the pain, whatever it might be. It's definitely worth it, especially that procedure compared to what they used to have to do. I cannot imagine getting that done by hands, by doctors cutting your eye open physically with, I think it's like a microblade or something like that. Anyway, that would be absolutely insane because it's going to take longer. I know of a woman who did get that done, and that was a while ago. That was like 10 years ago. And she couldn't look for 2 days. She had like patches on her eyes, which I was really thinking that it was going to be like that. But that was only after, for maybe an hour or two, where your eyes are so sensitive. It feels like you have sand in your eye. Yeah, it's pretty uncomfortable. Plus the Xanax, that was horrible, man. That Xanax did nothing but make it worse, to be quite honest. For me, anyway. I have a high pain tolerance, so I did not need the Xanax not to bug out. And I had no idea what it was. The doctor just wanted you to take it 30 minutes before. And I only found out after I had taken it. But anyway, I'm super excited because I am the new owner of a brand new set of eyes. And it's crazy. After 20 something years of wearing glasses, it is so amazing. I mean, I can read my computer screen from, all like off camera basically, which is nuts. It's absolutely crazy. And it takes a little bit for your brain to get used to be quite honest. You actually like kind of see things blurry for like a microsecond, and then things come into focus when you're looking from like a distance that you usually wouldn't be able to see. It's pretty wild. Pretty wild. I'm very happy with it. Money well spent. I thank you for your support making that happen. Not no support. No support, unfortunately. But it would be nice. Maybe in the future we'll have a real genuine following along for the ride here. But what else is going on? What else is going on? It was my birthday very recently, so that actually kind of took a bit out of me. For sure, there was a lot of planning, really a lot of craziness going on last month. It was pretty crazy. So there's been a lot of things that are kind of been culminating within the last 30 days. So I've been pretty busy, and I'm trying to really keep everything consistent with the channel, with the podcast, with a lot of things like that. I'm striving to get some guests. I'm trying to iron out how I might be able to do that with the podcast. Really, what guests, and how to really present that show. Trying to think of a good angle, something that would work with what I'm into, and kind of enrich other people as well. Be a unique podcasting experience. There's so many that are tried, done and dusted. Even something like this. I mean, hopefully you guys enjoy this and like the little bit that I get to go into with my personal affairs and all that stuff. This one, probably more so than others, is going to be mostly about the channel and everything that's been going on, trying to keep people updated and aware, such as everything we had gone over, and been working on the channel. I've actually been dabbling with a lot of different editing software. We kind of settled on DaVinci, which has been a little difficult, but we're getting over the growing pains for the most part, and we're actually making some progress there. So I hope that you guys like the additions to, for example, the Fallout series. The Fallout series shall be ongoing. That'll be a new series, and it'll be one that's highly edited, curated, as I like to call it, because they're really not editing out anything but the extra garbo. So you're really going to be able to see everything going on in that series, except for the things you really don't have to see. But you will actually be able to compare it against the live stream and see what things were edited really, and see how that came along, because to be quite honest, the first live stream I had, I think I ended up basically reducing it by almost 35 minutes in total after the 4 different cuts. So the videos are much more streamlined, to the point. Even in a silly situation where it might not be too much going on in that video, I made sure that it would basically be grabbing you in a way that was at least progressing what's going on at a non-wasting fashion, so that it gets to the point and you can move on with that at least. And, you know, the naming scheme, titles, we did have a promotion that I was able to snag maybe 2 months ago with the cloud gaming services. So if you're interested, I think if you're somebody who's maybe playing on a laptop, or, you know, not really the best computer, somehow running on a potato in 2024, then that might actually help out a lot, be something you're interested in. But if not, stick to your gaming as is. Can't sway you off that, but it's nice to have that versatility, something to mix it up for sure. And then we were getting into Cobalt Core as well. That was a new addition. I really like it. You know, they haven't really come out with a good replacement for FTL. You know, it's been such a long time since they brought about FTL, and I really think that it's a wonderful game, but they really should have done some more with it, for sure. I think that there was a lot of people who really wanted that to continue, and they never did anything with that, which was a shame, because there was definitely money and opportunity there, and a lot of entertainment for the fans, for sure. I mean, FTL was a wonderful game. It really is. There was a lot of playtime. People still playing that pretty often. It's a very, very popular game. And then on the even more personal side, you know, things have been patchy. Things have been a little bit crazy, quite taxing, to be honest. I've been, man, in a situation the last 2 months really that, I don't know, it's hard as a married person. You know, there's ups, there's downs, things come in swings, you know. So there's been a lot of stuff trying to rectify, keep those things really sorted out, you know. You don't want to let them build up. There's a lot of things, and I think that, you know, being open communication, man, that is so important. Being able to communicate and not getting emotional or aggressive, upset, you know, being combative, you know, or dismissive. There's so many things that you could be doing in communication that kind of sabotages the whole idea. You know, you really don't, you want to lend yourself to a solution instead of just convoluting things, you know, and like muddying the water and getting in the way of the solution. You know, there's sometimes where, you know, you might need to talk shit to make a point, really. You know, that's where I think it's necessary sometimes, is to make a point, reference, shame, you know, some type of proclamation, you know. And other than that, I just really feel like you kind of gotta be at the table. You know, you really gotta work on things. Gotta try to meet in the middle. And understanding is definitely a huge part of that. You're not gonna be willing to listen or understand, then it's really not gonna go anywhere. You absolutely have to be willing to sit down with your partner and be willing to work on the things, even if they sound preposterous. You know, you have to be able to listen to the whole idea. You know, you got to be able to process these things and like come to really compromise, man. Relationship is all compromise in every single way, because there's so many things that are added to your life in a relationship. I mean, the biggest being, which nobody really talks about, is that you know, when you're especially in a marriage, it's like you're sharing. You are sharing two lives in a sense. You're so close to somebody else, both literally, emotionally, spiritually, in so many ways. It all comes together, and like you get to live another person's life in a sense, like vicariously in a relationship. You know, you get to do things that being single, I don't know, man. You're not able to come to those same places. Sure, things might look similar. You're in bed with a woman, you're in bed with a man, whatever it might be, but you know, very different. Very different. When you can like get your hair cut by oh man, your wife cuts your hair naked. You know, it's like there are things that you're not gonna get unless you're gonna go to some very specific place for these very specific things. You know, you don't get the things that come with marriage just thinking about it. You really have to live these things. Like there is so much, especially as a man, that it's like you get to share that life with a woman, you know, and that there's opportunities abound in there that are very wonderful and they're very enjoyable, you know, and you're not going to get that alone. Sure, again, the physical connection, sure, you're going to get like some of that, but that only goes so far. You're only, you know, only going in and out. You're only saying hello, goodbye. There's no depth to that. There really is not much depth. Sure, again, can be good. Not anything against it. I'm just saying they're two totally different leagues. When people think that they are in a, like, you know, just like a little quick thing, one time thing, or even if it's a fling and it continues, you have your buddies, not the same. Still not the same, you know. And I'm still a huge advocate for people getting together and trying to live their life with somebody else, you know. It really is. It's a huge challenge. There's a lot of compromise, but there is so much more that you can enrich your life with, and you won't know. You will not know until it happens. And sure, there's a lot of ups and downs. There sure is. But again, I think it's worth it. I really do. You have to be at that right place. You have to be at that place for sure. You really need to know that that's what you want, because it is a commitment, and it should be a commitment. You should not get into marriage with the idea that, well, 50% chance it's not going to work out. It's just not right then. It's not right for you, man. You have to go into it with, this is going to work because I'm going to make it work, you know, and you have to, that's why you need to really be certain that's the person you're willing to do this with, because that should be your mentality, is Nothing is going to stop me from making this work out. I'll chase you to the ends of the earth to let you know I'm here for you, I love you, I support you, I want to be with you. You know, that is the commitment that you signed up for. You put that ring on, especially you go to church, you do that in the eyes of a greater power, at least in your own head. Don't care what you think about another higher power. But if you're going to do that in the presence of what you claim as a higher power, then you better put yourself to that standard. You know, unless you're going to the state and you're going to get some paper and just be like, well, we'll see if it works out, honey. You know, then that's a different story. And again, maybe marriage is not right for you. You guys should just be boyfriend and girlfriend. Unless you're just trying to get tax benefits or whatever else it is. Which, sure, I guess. But when it doesn't work out, don't blame the institution of marriage. The fact that you're just like using it as a utility instead of for its actual intended purpose, which is to stake your claim and defend it and commit to it to the end of your days. That's what marriage is. So decide on that. Keep true to that, and I think it'll really make things a lot easier in the end, because you're not going to think about all the silly in-betweens when it comes to that. But anyway, guys, I need to give my eyes a little bit of a rest. I appreciate you for tuning in. We'll be back more often, but now we need to, another thing we'll have to recover from. So please stay tuned to the channel if you're enjoying. We're going to, we'll have new variety content all the time, new improvements to the channel. I really appreciate your support. We cannot do this without you. Thank you, everybody. You have a great morning, afternoon, evening, or night. Take care, everybody.